You're listening to a Rock Candy podcast.
Hey guys, my name is Matt Langston. I am a music producer, a mix engineer, and an avid unicorn enthusiast. And I would like to invite you over to my podcast, 11D Life. On 11D Life, we get to talk to your favorite artists, producers, and creators about what makes them tick. We take deep dives into where they get their juiciest inspirations from and how they keep from being cynical about all of it. We even get to pull back the curtain on my band, 11D7, and share some fun insider tips and tricks for our fellow bandmates and creators out there. So be sure to check out 11D Life right here on the Rock Candy Podcast Network and wherever you get your favorite shows.
Hey everybody, it's Reese Roper, one of the hosts here at the Pickle and Boot Shop. I'd just like to give you a fair warning that in this episode, I do speak ill of golfers, and I forgot to use a soundboard this time. Also, there's hardly any swearing, and I apologize for that. Sometimes it sounds like I'm using the name of Jesus Christ irreverently, and I just wanted to point out that I'm not. I'm just saying the word Jeez, which may be irreverent, but I would argue that calling Jesus Jeez is irreverent because his name is Yeshua. Just wanted to point that out to you. Also, I messed up what our Twitter account is. Again, it's capital P, capital B, Oot Shop. At PB Oot Shop. I'm sorry. I'll get it right one of these days. All right, the Pickle and Boot Shop. I hope you hate it.
Joe and Reese, Pickle and Boot Shop. Get yourself a pickle. Get yourself a boot. Joe and Reese, Pickle and Boot Shop.
Pickle time is happening. Pickle time. I go down to get some pickles.
Bring your grandma and your kids.
I go downtown.
Bring your grandma and your kids.
Boot time. Pickle and boot time. Don't be fickle. Get your pickle cider, pop a nickel in your boots. Not a place of ill repute. Bring your grandma and your kids. Come for the pickles, stay for the squids.
Pickle and Boot Shop.
Stay for the squids.
Yeah, pickle time.
Put that pickle in your pants, get some booze inside your hands. Put that pickle in your pants, get some booze inside your hands.
1996, we start this.
Hey everybody, we're back. It is Joe and Reese's Pickle and Boot Shop, the diabolical brainwashing machine. We just decided today, hours ago, that we are no longer gonna say podcast. We're not gonna join that group because everybody has a podcast. But
Everybody.
Reese, how many people have diabolical brainwashing machines?
I did a Google search and there's only 7.
So we are one of 7 as opposed to one of millions of people. Everybody,
Yeah.
even the old lady next door who makes the brownies for the kids in the neighborhood. Even she has a podcast about making brownies for kids in the
She
neighborhood.
doesn't have a
So-
diabolical brainwashing machine, though. So
No, but we do.
we're way ahead
So
of
we
that
can
curve.
we can get to people. We can get down into their souls, into their medulla oblongatas,
Into that area.
into
Yeah.
that area of the brain.
Is it a brain? Yeah,
Kind of.
it is in your brain.
And yeah. So anyway, you guys, this is Reese and Joe's Pickle and Boot Shop, and we tried. Ooh, I heard something crack open. What crack? What are you having?
Oh yeah.
What are you?
Same old stuff.
Oh, you're going with the
Don Q.
not dark and stormy.
Yeah.
I
I
am.
think it's called a white and horny.
I am.
Not pale and horny.
This
Doesn't have
is.
to be.
I am drinking. I'm gonna finish up here. Let me swig this down. I just swigged down the rest of my Michelob Ultra, and I'm chasing it down with a little bit of Jameson. So we're not. What did you just
Quality.
crumple up? Jameson is
it was
quality.
it was the tape. I didn't mean it to be that loud. It was the tape that I
Yeah, I hear.
wrapped around this microphone. It had a backing,
Is that
'Cause
tape or is that foil? It looks like you have foil wrapped around.
It's that tape you get for air conditioning ducts. It was
Oh,
all I could
duct,
find.
Duct tape?
Duct tape, yes.
Duct tape. I like your Marvel pint glass. People can't see it because they can't see this video, but you're drinking out of a Marvel pint glass. I'm a big Marvel fan, big comic fan.
Yeah.
During COVID, and for the last couple months, there was like a day where I was just bombarding you with comic talk.
I
And
know,
like
it was
sending
wonderful.
you pictures of my comics and stuff. You guys, if you don't know, why would you? Because you just started listening to the Pickle and Boot Shop. But I'm a comic book nerd, so I buy and sell comics and collect comics, and have a nice little collection. And I've always known throughout our friendship with Reese that you enjoy comics as well.
True. Yeah.
That
No,
was like
we-
a dramatic pause. People were like, "Does he? Does he?"
Yes. Yes, everyone. I too enjoy the comical drawings.
So, Five Iron was in a comic book.
Yeah. That's
How did
insane.
that come about? How did that come about? Tell everybody how this whole thing was and what it was that I'm talking about.
So we found out because some friend of ours subscribed to X-Men, and it wasn't it wasn't the major run of X-Men. It was like an offshoot. It's had to be
It was the Y
2000.
Men.
The Y
Y
Men.
Men.
It was the Y Men. It was XXY.
Men.
It's called Klinefelter Syndrome Men. And they had that. Some fan of ours, some friend was like, hey, man, you guys are in the X-Men. So we ran out and bought it. And the kid that was drawing it was a fan.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So a lot of the ways, I guess, you work your way up in comic books is, unless you're Jim Lee or something, you get into it because there's a lot of really famous comic book guys that take on too much and they need ghost drawers. They need like ghost writers, but somebody to draw for them. So somebody tries to copy their style and they might finish like a sketch of the page and then just be like, I don't have enough time to do this and finish next month. So they get people like this kid who I can't even remember his name. He might be a famous artist by now. He might do comics on the
Really,
radio.
I don't know.
but
His name is Todd McFarlane, something like
Todd
that.
something.
Todd
Todd
something.
McFlarnon.
Mm.
Todd McFlarnon was
There's
his
a-
name.
There's a dude who recently he's like getting bigger. His name is John Somervilla. He's an
Yeah.
Australian artist. I love his stuff. I absolutely love it.
I will check it out.
He kind of broke in, he did a Marvel Tales. I'm sorry.
Okay.
A Star Wars Tales. And then he's done like some Avengers, like the Young Avengers or something like that. But yeah, John Somervilla, he actually drew the logo for my other podcast, the
No.
Average Jerks.
So you
he
know
drew
this
that.
guy.
I don't know him.
How did you
during-
get that?
So I love his art. I've collected all his stuff. Like I collected the very first published work of his in any comic book.
Yeah.
So I've kind of collected this stuff because I'm like, I think this guy's going to be something like big one day. I think he's really good, and I think his stuff is going to start getting more attention.
Yeah.
And through that, during COVID, I followed him on Instagram and stuff like that. And he did a thing where he's like, hey, because COVID has everything shut down, I need money. So he was like, I'm commissioning, I'm taking commissions for artwork.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So he had like different levels you could pay. And then like he said, pick a level, like, the style or whatever, how big of a drawing you wanted. And then he said that give him a caricature. Like any superhero, any movie star, like any movie character, whatever, and he'll draw it. I'm a big Notre Dame fan, so I asked if he could do the Notre Dame Leprechaun, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, that's awesome!" He's like, "I never even thought about it." He's like, "That'll be fantastic." So then he did it. And he's like, "My inspiration was like Conor McGregor," and so if you've seen that like photo or if you've seen that picture from my other cast,
it's cool.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, it was like Conor McGregor with the Notre Dame Leprechaun. So it ended up being really awesome. And so, yeah, but I think that guy's rad. I'm still totally jealous about the X-Men because then you guys had it on a shirt too. That was one of your guys' shirts.
Yeah.
That you sold was that panel.
Right. So we found it, I think later. Brad's super good at talking to people. He's not the most gregarious person. Leonore is. She'll talk to anybody, like just talk and not stop.
She talks to me. So if you talk to me, that means she'll talk to anybody.
Yeah. Okay.
because
No,
I'm like the guy that like even to prove my point, when your camera turned on, your daughter was sitting on your bed, wanted to show me her hamster, and as soon as I popped up on your screen, she was like, "Screw that," and she was gone.
She warmed up. They both
She
showed you the
was
hamsters.
gone. You had to, I heard you like off camera, like, come on, just bring him in here. Come on, he's on a screen. He can't do anything.
He can't bite you.
He can't hurt you anymore.
Yeah.
He can't hurt you anymore.
Oh my gosh.
They got into they found your old CDs and they got into the insider CDs and were just traumatized. You're like, he can't hurt you anymore.
Oh my gosh. I don't think my kids know what a CD is.
I know, isn't that
Isn't that
nuts?
sad?
It's sad
It's nuts.
that you don't put like whole albums together anymore. You just drop like a song,
Yeah.
and then 6 months later do another one.
But people buy vinyl. And to me that's
Yeah.
enough. Like you make an album and then if you're gonna put out singles, do that. But like
Yeah, no, I
do that
agree.
for everybody else, but make some albums.
There's a Brazilian punk band called Onyx X.
Mm-hmm.
They contacted me a few months ago and I didn't have time to do it. And they contacted me again today and they're like, "Hey, we want you to do a song with us." And then we also like the one guy in the band is like, "I want to do one of your songs." Like he wants me to like write and record a song.
Yeah.
And he wants to like mess with it and put it out. And I'm like, "Is it going to be on your album?" And he's like, "No, I'm just going to do like a one and done." And I'm
What?
like, "Oh Lord." So now I'm just like every other mumble rapper out there. I'm just going to drop one song. But here's hey, I got the last laugh because I have no creative juices anymore. So I have to try and figure out a song to write. I have to find inspiration somewhere and write a song and record a song.
Okay.
So
This is like my unemployment wheelhouse right now is writing songs. It's all I do all day. I'd
So-
love to help you.
So give me a beat, be my Dre, and I'll be a washed up Eminem.
Yeah.
I'll be a punk ska Eminem, and you could be my Dre. Send me like some songs, some music, and then I'll put words to it
Okay.
and send
So
it
do-
to him, and
do
then
you
see
want-
what he can do with
Is
it.
do you want ska?
I don't know. Well, I
Do
mean,
the-
I know if I was doing something, I would just be playing my guitar, and so it
Uh-huh.
would just be like acoustic. Here's a funny story.
Okay.
I started playing guitar after I had fallen in love with ska. So when I learned to play, I learned to play the upbeat. I can't play normal.
Oh my gosh.
Like I can't do just like downstrokes and like play. Everything for me is the upstroke. And
That's good.
yeah, it's good for when you like ska, but when you're like sitting around a campfire and some girl's like, "Can you play Counting Crows?" and it comes across as like real big fish, they don't tend to like that.
Man, that's still better than me because I can only play things I make up. I can't play other people's songs. I'm not that good. And so I just think around. I'm like, that sounds good. And then I make a song.
I mean, that's me. I will. Here's another thing. Being 1,000% honest, I learned to play guitar at age like 14. I did not
Yeah.
get any better. I from age 14 to like maybe 14 and 3 months.
yeah.
That's what I was the rest of my life until COVID. Then when COVID hit, I started playing guitar more, and all of a sudden one day, like it hit me, and like
Yeah.
bar chords. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you mean?" And I started playing stuff, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And I got a lot better within like 2 months. But
Yeah.
then that stopped. So
Keep practicing. Just keep your guitar next to you for things you do. And then just be like,
I do.
All you got to do, play some bar chords. I'm the same way. I couldn't play bar chords. I've got a guitar sitting right here, and every day I make myself play them and dip around because I'm trying to be in a ska band.
yeah, I wish
only
I
I
could be in a
could.
ska band again.
I
I just don't have the time anymore. So
Well, that's
when
what
did
Kyle
you-
is for.
Yeah, it is. It is what Kyle is for. Who's Kyle? Oh, Kyle Wassel. He's on the lamb, buddy. He's on the lamb. He doesn't go by Kyle anymore. I think he probably goes by like Steve Dragnos is I think his
Steve
new name or something
Dragnos.
like that.
He does not live in the United States anymore.
Yeah, Kyle Wassel, aka Steve Dragnos. Yeah, he probably,
So on a
who
future
knows what he
episode,
is.
I've put it as a topic that we need to talk about the miracle that is Kyle.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be in there. Definitely stories will come up about Kyle. And there's good stories too.
Yeah.
There are some good stories in there, but he's funny. Now, last week we talked about starting a band. We kind of wanted
Right.
to keep this thing going as far as nostalgia and go kind of take this podcast in like chunks. And
Yeah.
so over the course of, making a short story long, we could probably take our listeners, through 7 years. Like we can drag this out to, like 400 episodes of just talking about insiders of Five Iron.
Which we
Last
will.
week we talked about, we absolutely will. We will milk that cash cow, and you
we
guys
have
hit the Patreon.
five people that sponsor us on Patreon, and we haven't even released an episode yet. This is being
Yeah.
recorded 2 days before the first episode hits.
Correct. Yeah. So you guys, this is the way we're doing it. Before I start my story, the first hour we're going to give you is free. So that's going to be posted. You can always listen to an hour of us free every week. If you want to be a Patreon subscriber, you'll get an extra half hour to hour of more stuff that's kind of more off the cuff, more uncensored, fun, more deep dive stories, things of that nature. And you can do that from anywhere from $5 a month to, if you want to do more, there's different levels and you can get prizes and all sorts of stuff in return. So with that being said, we talked last time about starting the band, how you started how you started Five Iron.
Yeah.
I think I touched briefly on how the insiders kind of got started. But what I wanted to talk about this week for those out there that may be doing this is how you picked a name, how you picked a logo, and kind of how you started getting that marketing out there, how you started selling yourself and getting into clubs at an early time with Five Iron. So name,
Man.
let's go with name. How'd you guys pick your name?
Before we started Five Iron, when we were in that metal industrial band,
Exuminator.
yes, we lived so Keith and I lived in these HUD subsidized apartments that we qualified for because we were 18, 19. And it was such a sweet deal. It was in Aurora, which is like the biggest suburb of Denver. And we had a 1-bedroom apartment. We paid $230 a month, not each, like total. We paid $230.
But you shared it with a homeless guy.
Yeah. So Keith and I were there. We paid the $230. Soon, a homeless guy from our church came and lived with us. And also Feisch, Mark Denny, who was the bass player for the Smiley Kids later. He was a kid that grew up in our youth group. And he would just come stay at our house for like weeks because he didn't want to go home. And his mom was like, somehow she trusted us. But yeah, man. So it was usually 3 or 4 of us at that point, but $230 a month. And it was nice. Like they were newer apartments. They had been built in maybe the 70s, maybe the 80s, but they had recently been remodeled. And the only thing that sucked is if you didn't drive, you were kind of hosed because it was far from anything. But I think I had a car at the time. And then Keith had mastered the bus system in Denver. So we lived there. And the way that we did it was, I think we had friggin' just mattresses on the floor. So Keith had a mattress, I had a mattress. We lived there, went to school. We were both going to school downtown Denver. There's a campus called Auraria, which is like 3 colleges. They share the same campus. And it's nice. It's a nice college. It's just not real college because there's no dorms. So everybody commutes, and there's a lot of adults that go there and a lot of very serious people. So you miss out on, like, I wonder what it'd be like to prank people. Well, that does not happen at this campus. So Keith went to Metropolitan State College of Denver, and I went to the University of Colorado at Denver.
Is this where you met Edna?
It is where I met Edna.
I think you need to share the story of Edna.
Edna? What?
You told me a story about a woman named Edna that was a cadaver.
Oh, hell,
that you,
dude. That's right.
That you
no, it is not.
Out. So
yeah, we got to tell this later. We got to save Edna for another time. Yeah, so we would go to college and stuff. We lived in this apartment, and then we had a band, and we added Scott. And Scott, we were like, Scott, we're going to get a house. We need to get a house so we can practice all the time. We want to be good. And in order for Scott to do that, his lease ran out like a month or 2 before us. Let's say 3 months. Seems like 3 months. His lease ran out, but he also had a roommate. So his roommate, Cliff, came with him. They came and lived in our apartment for 3 months with the homeless guy who was sometimes there and Feisch, who was sometimes there. So we built, I don't really know if we built 1 or 2 of those things. We went and bought like $100 of lumber and built one of those lofts, like where it's like a grown up bunk bed. God knows what
Yeah.
happened to that thing. I think we left it maybe.
Oh, of course you did.
Because what's your damage deposit on a $230 apartment? I don't know, but
Yeah, $20, $25.
maybe. And maybe we were just like, let's just leave this. Maybe the next people want it. So there were
Yeah.
4 of us. We lived in this one room, and I think Feisch was also in there. I think there were 5 people in a 1-bedroom bedroom, and we'd all try and go to sleep, and we would just start giggling about stuff. And one of the things we always joked about was band names. So we'd be like Hamster Motivator. Hamster Motivator would be, you'd laugh forever. Nature Bubble. Like somebody would just say something. You'd be almost asleep and somebody would say a band name. And then you'd laugh for another half hour and then keep going. So we kept floating this stuff out here. And this is long before we thought about 5-Iron, but we were like obsessed with the idea of naming bands. And when we finally moved into a house together, we moved into this crazy house that was like in downtown Denver, 7 bedrooms. Was it 7 bedrooms? I think it was.
Holy cow.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. There were 7 of us. Brad and Scott shared a room. Andy had like this glorified closet. Keith and I had a room. Our friend Larry had a room downstairs. Cliff?
Was Larry a real estate investor who made a lot of money?
He wasn't. It would have helped a
Do you
lot.
know what lyric that's from?
No.
Sir Mix-a-Lot, Posse's
Oh.
on Broadway.
Oh my gosh. All right, I gotta bone up on my Sir Mix-a-Lot.
All right, so go back to Larry. So
So
Larry had a room.
I don't know. We all lived there. We were still thinking of band names, and when 5-Iron came along, we had this long list, but we had exhausted what was funny. And this is a seriously long time to talk about this, but people are always like, "What'd you name your band? 5-Iron Frenzy?" So we shifted roommates. I think Larry moved out, and we added. I don't know if we added this dude officially or not, because he was Micah's best friend from high school, and I think he got kicked out of his house that summer. So he was living in downtown Denver, and we're just like, dude, come on, come just stay at our house. We got space, like there's a couch or whatever. Don't
Yeah.
live.
I mean,
He
you guys
was
taking homeless guys, behavior
We already
problems,
had.
why not? It's like a halfway
not?
house.
It was. So this dude was like, he was telling us stories about sleeping downtown. He would sleep with in the day because he didn't want to get jumped. And he'd sleep with his backpack on the front of him so he could sleep and also keep his arms on it and not get robbed. He's telling us this, and we're like, come on, come live with us. So the guy's name was Andy. And we already had an Andy. So our Andy became nicknamed Chaka, and this guy became nicknamed Santa because he had
But nobody got Andy.
nobody got Andy.
So
No,
your
it
name's
was-
Andy, your name's Andy. There can't be 2 Andys, so you're going to be
No.
Chaka and you're going to be
Chaka,
Santa.
and you're Santa. So Santa, he was Santa because he didn't shave very well, but mostly because he had a fanny pack and he always had things in it, goodies and pens. He was very good at drawing, and he would just pull out pens and pencils and start drawing, and we called him Santa. So this is the funny thing about Santa. His name is Andrew Orvidal. Orvedahl. And you should look him up on Google because he's more famous than 5-Iron ever has been.
Really?
He's like a famous comedian. Like he was on Last Comic Standing. He's been on The Tonight Show.
Really?
Crazy. Yeah. He was a funny guy, just like cynical.
And he was the one who
um,
was kicked out of his house. He's the
kicked
one
out
who
of his
moved
house.
in with you.
Yeah. And he's famous now.
And you went to
He's
high
also
school with
on
Don
a TV
Cheadle.
show. He's on a TV show called Those Who Try, which I think is on the True Network.
It's called
Yeah.
what?
It's called
What's it
Those
called?
Who Try.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a big deal. So this guy, in his homeless phase, one day was wearing a trench coat around, and somebody noticed that he was carrying a golf club, which was a piece of a set of golf clubs that I got from my grandmother's basement because my aunt was teaching me golf. Aunt was a really good golfer, so I pieced together what was left of just like my uncle's and aunt's golf stuff, and I was like, I'm going to try this.
Now, guys like me, I'm going to cut in here. Guys like
Uh-huh.
me, I'm 6'5". I got to find clubs that are extended. Now,
Yeah,
you're what?
I'm
5'11"?
5'12".
So you're 5'12", but your
Mm.
arms fully
Arms-
extended make you
Yeah.
you have like a 7'1" wingspan. So
Right.
do you have to get shorter golf clubs because your arms are longer?
I don't care. That's the problem with me at golf is it's fun. It's fun if like it's free and you're just out there dipping around hitting a ball.
Yeah.
That's nice. But once you're like, hey, I want to try golf, it's really expensive. And the guys
Yes.
who normally do it, no offense, because there's probably some like average golfing people who are like, I go to the city park and do it. Most of them are dick bags. And so
This
I
is
don't
true.
like that.
This is
Like,
true.
I don't want to hang out with dick bags.
Yeah,
I
I don't
don't
like
like
the
it.
culture of golf.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes I'll do it. Sometimes I'll go to the driving range and stuff. But at that point, I didn't really care. Anyway, Andrew Orvidal is doing this, and one of us catches him and are like, dude, what are you doing? And he told us this story. This is part of, I think, why he was kicked out of his parents' house. Just this lifestyle. But sorry, Andy. And he'd been to a party, a high school party, and sold some kids he knew were on drugs stickers and told them they were laced with acid. Sold it for like $200 and left.
Yeah.
And
Yoink.
he said he thought these guys were after him, and he saw him at this gas station, which was about a block from where Five Iron lived. And he was like, if those guys show up, if they jump me, it's going to be putter mayhem. And Scott looked at the golf club and he goes, don't you mean it's going to be a 5-iron frenzy? And that was it. We were just like, that's the funniest band name. So we picked it, and it was funny for a couple weeks. And then we're just freaking stuck with it. Like, we're just like, oh, yeah. Who wants to explain what 5-iron frenzy is for the rest of your life?
So
Nobody.
was 5-iron frenzy already going at this time and you were trying to find a name, or did that stick? You started 5-iron and then we're like, oh, we talked about this name, let's tag it.
No, we were already going, and we were just like, well, we have this ska band. And I think we talked about it. It was our side project at the time for
Yeah,
our other
yeah,
band.
yeah.
So stupid.
Did you have any other names that you were considering?
Yeah. I cannot recall any of them right now. 5-iron frenzy was the one that stuck out. So we were just like, that's the funniest.
With the
Yeah.
insiders, we did the same thing. We kind of went like a week or so. We're trying to think of like different names. And so for me, I always get inspiration from movies or like things that I see, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's everybody, right? I just explained pretty much every way you get inspiration.
Sometimes
and so
you feel
I
it.
had been drawing, like I enjoy, yes. And so I had been cartooning, and I
Uh-huh.
drew a picture of this like chef, and it was like a chef with like a big butcher knife, but it was like funny. It wasn't like horror type.
Yeah.
So like this guy, he kind of had a chef's hat, kind of had like the Popeye type face, and then his arm is in front of him, and he's got like a big, like one of those square looking butcher knives. And I put him in a
Cleaver.
circle, and then in the circle, a cleaver. That's exactly what it was, a cleaver. And I put Chefs of Chaos around it.
This
and
is
it,
like
and at age,
you basically invented juggalos.
yes, yes. And so at age 17 or 18, whatever I was, so I take this to the band and I'm like, hey, I think we should call ourselves the Chefs of Chaos because I think there's a lot we can do with this. We're cooking
very
up
lot.
trouble. We're cooking up trouble, baby.
Mhm.
And so I'm thinking like there's a lot that can be done. That was shot down immediately, and that has always been kind of thought of as like, dude, we almost named ourselves the Chefs of Chaos. That would have been awful. And then the way we actually got our name was, we're sitting in church one morning, and we would all sit together, all went to the same church, and Nate, our drummer and kind of like our band leader, is like sitting there. We're all like screwing around, like, you know, here I am, like 18 years old, and
Yeah.
our guitarist at the time was 15, and we were seniors in high school, or we had just graduated, and he was like a sophomore.
Jeez.
Yeah, and so his name is Caleb. So like
This
we're
is
like
not
screwing
Kyle.
around in church. I remember, this is not Kyle. This is
Okay.
the guitar player that Kyle replaced. So our original guitar player's name was Caleb Ford, and I think he has some stuff out on iTunes. He did an amazing reggae CD a few
Cool.
years ago. Fantastic stuff. Did it with Bob Marley's guitarist. What's that guy's name?
What?
Yeah, Marley's guitarist. Yeah, he's like a ridiculous good, like reggae guitar player, all that stuff. His older brother Josh is known in Detroit as Motor City Josh, and he's this like white blues singer that like packs out clubs and stuff like that for singing, the
Wow.
blues and stuff. So Caleb and I were kind of screwing around at church, and Nate was actually paying attention. And the verse that they were talking about was like from 2 Corinthians 5, I think, I want to say like verse 11. I forget what it is now, or 2 Corinthians 4:2. I think that's what it was. 2 Corinthians 4:2. And basically, to summarize it, it said, if we hold the secret of Christ within us, we need to share it with outsiders, and we need to let them know. And so Nate turns to me and he's like, hey, if we're sharing, same way with our band, like if we're sharing the gospel with outsiders, that makes us insiders. And then because of the
That's
times
cool, man.
and the idiots that we were like, let's spell it with a Y and a Z to make it seem like thuggish. And so that's how we came up with the insiders. We were like, yeah, I think that fits. So like for us, it wasn't any, big, again, we kind of went through a week of trying to figure out band names and all that stuff. But yeah, we settled with the insiders, and we were like, you know what, I think that fits. So we went with that, and yeah, that seemed to do all right for us.
It's the worst thing. Like if you name your kid, unless you name them something totally stupid, you're just like, that is that person.
Yeah.
And that name becomes what that kid, like it becomes that kid.
Yeah.
Their soul is in that name.
Yeah. It's
No
funny
matter
'cause-
how dumb the name is, you're just like, that's what that person is, and it justifies it. But
Exactly.
a band is so different because you are just like, whatever. You're usually 18, you're young, and you just think this is cool. And it's
Exactly.
not.
Exactly.
How many cool band names are there? I mean, there's
AC/DC,
usually, yeah. Is it though? Like
Insane Clown
AC/DC?
Posse, Insane
Yeah.
Clown Posse.
Insane Clown Posse is probably the best band name. There's some really good band names like Kitchens of Distinction and Suddenly Tammy. But have you heard those
Oh.
bands? No.
No.
You've heard Weezer, which is a stupid name.
Yeah. Suicide Machines.
That's a good name. But originally
That's a
they were
great
Jack
name.
Kevorkian in the Suicide Machines.
Yeah, they used to play Detroit, and it was when Dr. Kevorkian was at the peak of like assisting people with suicide. And
Yeah.
so they would play a show, and it would say Jack Kevorkian in the Suicide Machines, and like the news would show up, and
That's so
protesters would show up because they thought Jack Kevorkian was going to be doing like an open mic or something like that with his Suicide Machines. And so
And
then
they had to change it.
yeah, they got like a cease and desist letter, whatever that's called. And yeah, then they dropped the Jack Kevorkian and went with Suicide Machines. But I always thought that was the best band name.
Dude, when I was in the band Roper, which 5 Minute Walk decided would make advertising cheaper. They're just like, just name it after yourself. And I wanted to name it Ninja Force 5000. So we named it Roper, and I hated it so much. There's another band, like the Scottish death metal band called Roper, and I wrote their label anonymously and was like, hey, this band is ripping you guys off. You should sue them to see if somehow they would do it and we could change our name, like be forced to. I hated it so much.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Now, how did you guys settle on the logo? Like,
For 5 Iron?
yeah, how did that finally hit? Because you guys have a logo, like the Insiders. We kind of did like the logo every album. Like
Yeah.
we kind of switched what we did.
We still do
We didn't
that.
have one that like went all the way. Whereas you guys, when I think
No,
5
we
Iron,
don't.
I think the like 4 slashes with the fifth through it.
Yeah, that's the only thing, but no version of that has sustained. So like I remember I was an art minor, and Scott went to school for graphic design. So he and I were keyed into that, and we just said, you know, what would be a cool logo is just like a hash mark, like that tally mark thing that just says 5. That'll be our logo. And for me, I've always been like arguing the point of, look at Nike. You know, nobody was just like, let's make this little hook swooshy thing. You know, that'll sell our shoes. But somebody designed that, and they were like, they kept it, and people identify that brand because of that.
Yeah.
Like good brands do that. And to me, I was like, let's figure this out and stick with it. But the guys in the band, we're a democracy, so they're always like, all it takes is 4 people. So 4 people have to be, I don't care, or I don't like it, and then it's changed. And I mean, we have kept that basic thing that we do that tally mark thing, but it's gone through so many different redesigns.
Yeah.
Finally, like when we reformed, we talked to, like, we had this friend that was a designer, and we had him design a really cool version of it. And I'm like talking to the band, let's keep this one. Let's make this be our thing. It's very like, it's a really cool version of it. Let's use it. And that lasted about a month.
Oh,
That
seriously.
They shifted to something
Oh.
else. So whatever.
Yeah,
It's fun.
Our stuff had gone, like, again, every album was about the same, but our one that launched the biggest was our Fight of My Life.
Yeah.
For the Fight of My Life album, we kind of went with like the Godfather theme. And so we had the Insiders written like the Godfather, and then like the marionette, it was Parker from the Aquabats. So the guy who was the mad scientist for the Aquabats,
Yeah.
he did most of our merch.
Jeez,
So-
dude.
Yeah, so he drew our merch. So he did that Insiders logo that looked like the Godfather. And then the marionette was like this. We always debated whether it was a cat or whether it was a monkey.
Yeah.
And so we just called it the cat monkey. I don't know why he did that. I don't know what he heard in our sound or thought of the Insiders where he did this like cat monkey thing.
I was like, they need a cat
But-
monkey.
But that shirt, so nothing really like stood out as far as like a logo or whatever for the Insiders. But that
Yeah.
shirt we put out, it was an orange shirt. It was kind of that time in the 90s where orange shirts, like the Supertones, did like an orange shirt that said Supertones written kind of like sun-kissed.
Yes.
That sold really good. I think you guys had an
I think
orange
they
shirt.
ripped you guys off.
Yeah, no, well, they went first. Theirs came out first.
Nah.
But I
No,
think
they didn't.
you're right. I was trying to be nice because we bagged on last time, and
Right,
I'm not gonna hold back.
I don't feel like we
They
should.
ripped us off, and so
Yeah.
they had an orange shirt. You guys had, I think, a pretty good selling orange shirt.
We had an
So-
orange shirt.
Yeah, I remember what was it? I remember you guys had a good because I
We
had
had
it.
one that was like a dreamsicle color. It was like a light orange.
Was it? And like a push-up. Tell me push-ups. I just said that weird. Tell me push-ups aren't one of the greatest frozen treats. Have
Truly
your
they
daughters had a push-up?
No, man, because we
You're
we don't
robbing
have
them
an.
of.
Yeah, man. I don't. No,
You go to
I'm
the grocery store and get push-ups. They're in the frozen treat section.
I'm gonna do it.
You
This is
gotta.
what's we need to do a whole episode on parenting.
Yeah, you
'Cause
do.
I am the bad parent. I'm not bad. I'm not a bad parent. I'm the mean guy. I'm the one
Have
that
you ever-
feels everything, and I'm like, oh, this is going to affect their psyche later. And then I set rules.
No.
I'm like, you're going to get
No.
diabetes. Don't do this.
No,
No
another good one.
push-ups.
I'll get back to the logo. I'll get back to the Godfather logo. Another thing you got to do with your kids, you got to introduce them to push-ups. The other thing you got to introduce them to is one night, have them come into
Yeah.
the kitchen or the dining room. Don't say anything to them. Tell them to get their bathing suits on. Have them put their bathing suits on. And when they come into the kitchen, the dining room table has been removed. And all that's there is a tarp.
Uh huh.
Tell them to sit on the tarp on their bathing suits. And then for dinner, and you're in your bathing suit too. And then for dinner, you pour a giant pot of spaghetti down on the tarp and you eat it with your hands. And
Have
for
you
dinner,
done this,
yes.
Joe? You're such a good father.
So you throw it down there and you have the spaghetti and you have garlic bread and you just eat everything with your hands and it's all over your legs and your arms
Oh,
and your
man.
face and everything like that. Yeah, it's spaghetti animal style. That's what you got to do with your kids.
My first worry is how do you go back to normal after that? Because my kids will not. They would not stop talking about it ever. Dad,
Yeah, exactly.
why are we
That's
eating
what's
at the
wrong.
table again?
Yeah, why is the
Why
table
aren't we
back here?
crawling around on
Where's the
spaghetti
tarp?
like animals?
Where's the tarp? Dad, I already have my tarp picked out for my first apartment. You know what? But then that's the thing. Like the next day, they come home from school or they walk in or whatever, and
Yeah.
the table's back, and you act as though nothing happened. And then they think to themselves, like, "What can we do again?" Like they're constantly thinking, "When's the next
No,
time
man.
we get to eat chili animal style?"
Oh, that's a good idea. My kids are always gaming me though. They're always just trying to extract whatever they can. Like,
Oh, you got to live a little. You got to let a little bit of that roper out. Sometimes
All right.
let the dad curtain down. So anyway,
I
back
could
to
do that. Okay, I could do that more.
do it.
Except the person that I am betrothed to
We'll
tends
mix it.
to be the fun person all the time. Like, just like, what do you
Oh,
want?
but
Candy
animal
for
style.
breakfast? Yeah, let's do it. And then so I end up being like, hey, we need some boundaries. We have to do this.
No.
And
No,
okay.
then you know what you do, Reese? Then you go
Huh.
up and above. You go beyond. If she's doing candy for breakfast, you're doing animal style spaghetti for dinner.
We're doing it. Okay, fine.
Do it.
Animal style. It's happening.
So back to the insider. So we
I'll
get
do
the
it when
shirt.
she's gone. I'll do it the night she's gone, and then I'll
Yeah,
just
that's
always be
another
like,
angle.
That's my favorite.
You cut your spouse out at the knees. That's solid marriage relationship stuff.
It's real
Advice.
good. Yeah,
You know, if you want to be doing that 25 years of marriage, you cut them down at the knees.
that's
gonna
how
end
you
up-
keep.
You're gonna
That's how
end
you
up like
keep it
being
alive.
divorced twice because I do animal style chili with my kids. But back to the T-shirt. So
Back to the T-shirt.
our best
Godfather.
logo ever. So Godfather logo.
It
We put
was
on-
cool.
We put it on an orange T-shirt. We did a song with a rap group called K2S. So K2S, they contacted us. They said, "Hey, you know, we love this like ska thing that's going on right now."
Hey, they were cool.
They were a really nice guy. D
Yeah.
Smooth, Donald, and Ken, the other guy.
Ken, what kind of
Ken.
rap name is that?
I don't know. It was D Smooth and Ken.
Ken,
And,
why don't you become one of our Patreons and for
Yeah.
your reward, we'll come up with a really good rap name for you.
right? Like we'll just call him Kenny Rap. Kenny Rapper.
Kenny Rap. That sounds like two white middle-aged men came up with
just
it.
thought of a name, Kenny Rap. Well, have you
Joe-
heard the names of rappers nowadays?
Ah, dude.
They all sound like white guys came up with their names.
Lil. Let's just
Everything's
put
a Lil.
Lil in front of something.
Yeah.
Lil.
You want to talk about people regretting their names? Like here in Detroit, Kid Rock is from Detroit. And he
Yeah.
always says he hates that he used the name Kid Rock. Because he's
Yeah.
like, now I'm 50 years old. And it's like Kid Rock.
People
is
are like, what's up,
performing."
kid?
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, dude, I'm 50. Like, you don't need, like, kid is just stupid. So he's like, you got to think names through.
What about the guy in his band, Uncle Cracker? I think he
Yeah.
named that guy so he'd feel better about himself.
Yeah.
Look, dude, hey,
If I'm
your
Kid
name's gonna
Rock,
be
you got to be Uncle Cracker.
Uncle Cracker.
And then Uncle
Well,
Cracker went country.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he did put out some good stuff.
He
I think
did.
he makes more like producing and stuff than he actually does singing. So
Man, how cool would it be to have your album produced by Uncle Cracker?
it's
I'm
got to be
doing
good.
that.
He has an ear for it, man. So
He
we
has-
take this orange shirt. I'm
Yeah.
going to try and get through this story. The
Please.
Jamesons hit me.
Sorry,
too.
I keep
No,
interrupting.
you're good. That's what people tune in for. I don't care. You can interrupt me 100 times. It's just going to take this thing longer, right?
All right. So while I'm interrupting you, I want to thank you for not talking about the scab on my nose.
I was thinking about asking you, and then I didn't want to ask you.
Let's save it for the Patreon.
Oh, so right now the
This is so
Patreon
dirty.
has the scab and they have Edna.
Edna. Both.
Edna is well worth, you guys. It's well worth the $5 level of subscriber. It's worth the
You know-
50. It is a fantastic story, but
I was just talking to my good friend Sally Struthers, and One thing that she pointed out is
Sally
that a
Struthers.
$5 Patreon subscription is less than a cup of coffee a day. And you could
It is.
probably
It
feed
is.
some kids for that or hear about my scab on my nose.
Exactly.
So it's up to you. I don't know. Pray about it.
And so the shirt. So what happens with the shirt is we print insiders on it. It's the orange shirt. K2S.
I
wants
had
to
that
do-
shirt, by the way.
Oh, it was. Well, I'll get to why we most people did have it. So it was called. It was our whatever, our Godfather shirt. K2S asked us to do a song with them, and they're
Yeah.
like, "What do you want for payment?" So we told them, "Hey, for payment, how about you put us up in a beach house in Newport Beach? Put us up in a beach house for like 2 weeks." And we're gonna have a band retreat. So
Yeah.
for a week,
You told their label this,
yes, we told their label this.
not them.
So we
They're
were
just like, I don't have a beach
Yeah,
house.
exactly. They're like, oh, the insider's doing this song with us. Little did they know we like strong armed them into a beach house. So for a week, we record this song, which ended up, it was called Common Ground. If you want to look that up on iTunes, it's called Common Ground. We did with K2S, and then and it came out on their album. And so for a week we recorded, and then for a week we did like a band retreat at this beach house. And literally, when I say beach house, you opened the sliding glass door and you were on Newport Beach, like you had your own private beach, the ocean. You were 60 feet from the ocean. There's probably 60 feet, 100 feet of beach. And then you were right there in the ocean. Well, our neighbor in the house next door, that's what a neighbor is, was NBA superstar, and we're from Detroit, previous Detroit Piston, Dennis Rodman.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, so Dennis Rodman lived in the house next door to us.
Jeez.
And so one of the guys saw him and was like, dude, I think Dennis Rodman lives next door. So we would see like this dude. It ended up, we saw him a few times, and Dennis Rodman had this, he was playing for the LA Lakers at the time.
Yeah.
And he had this babysitter with him. And the guy was like a short, chubby, white guy, youth pastor hair, mustache. And he was
This was the babysitter.
This was like the babysitter. This was like
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, this was like Dennis Rodman's babysitter.
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman didn't look like the way I just described. And so, like, not anywhere close to that.
He could, though. That guy changes shapes.
Yeah, he could on a good weekend.
Yeah, okay.
Or a bad
Keep going.
weekend. And so this guy basically, like, Dennis Rodman would leave his house, and the guy would be like, Dennis, lock the door. And Dennis would be like, I did. He's like, Dennis, lock the door. I did, man. Come on, let's go. I did. And he'd be like, Dennis, lock your door. And Dennis Rodman would be like, okay. And like come back and like lock his door. Like this guy was like his babysitter, told him what to do.
Oh, he was Dennis Rodman's babysitter, not the babysitter of Dennis Rodman's kids.
Correct. He was Dennis Rodman's babysitter. And so
I
see him
need
outside.
that, but a hot lady. If
Correct.
anybody's on the market.
Correct. And so one night or one afternoon, I'm out there and his babysitter like comes out and is like talking on his cell phone. Well, he stops and I'm like, hey, what's going on? He's like, what's up? He's like, hey, did you guys just move in next door? I was like, no, we're just renting it. We're a band. And I go, hey, does Dennis Rodman live there? The guy's like, yeah. I said, if I give you a t-shirt and a CD, would you give a t-shirt and a CD to Dennis? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So I ran in the house. I got one of those orange Godfather. I got 2 orange Godfather t-shirts. I gave one to the guy and a CD. And I said, here's one for Dennis and a CD.
Yeah.
So a couple of days go by, and it's the night before we're flying back. We've had our retreat. We've done all that. We're going to be flying back to Detroit. And it's like our flight left at 7 a.m. out of California, something like that. And it's 3 in the morning and 2 in the morning maybe. And we hear, like, I wake up because, like, the house is shaking. I look out and I see there's a big, huge party going on at Dennis Rodman's house.
Oh,
so,
I thought it was an earthquake.
So my roommate was Bram, our trumpet player.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Bram, dude, there's a party going on next door. We're looking. We see Dennis Rodman dancing. We're like, oh my gosh, it's Dennis Rodman. He's also supposedly, allegedly married to Carmen Electra at this time.
Yeah.
So we're like watching him and we can't see real good. So we go into the living room where there's the big ceiling to floor blinds, like the straight like shades.
Yes.
And so we peek through them and all of a sudden Dennis Rodman comes over towards us and we like step back. We're like, oh my gosh, he caught us like, spying on him. We hear a pounding at the back door. on the
Dude.
sliding glass door. And we're like, oh my gosh, like we're getting whooped. Pounds on it. Bram's like, dude, you got to answer it. So I answer the door. I open it. I'm like, hey, what's up? And it's Dennis Rodman. He's like, what you guys doing? And we're like, we're sleeping. He's like, no, you guys are that ska band. He goes, you guys are that band. We're like, yeah. He's like, man, come over, grab your instruments, come over, play my party.
What?
And we're
Did
like,
you have your instruments with you?
no, they were like already loaded to go to the airport.
Ah,
And so we're like, dude, we don't have our instruments. Like they're at the recording studio. They're getting shipped back to Detroit. He's like, you guys are from Detroit? I lived in Detroit. We're like, yeah, dude, we know. We were Pistons fans. Bad Boys, all that stuff. He's like, come over to my party. And he's like, play. And we're like, we can't play, but we'll come over to your party. So a few of us did go over because I'm like, dude, I got to see a Dennis Rodman party.
you
So-
can't turn that down.
No. So we go next door.
Even if you're the Pope, you're
It
like,
was-
I got to see what this is about.
I got to see what it's about. So I go into his house. Or first he tells me, he's like, come on over. He knew we were a Christian band. He listened to the CD. He's
Did
like,
he?
you guys are that Christian band. Yeah. He's like, come on over. He's like, there's all sorts of stuff. He's like, there's beer, there's wine. He's like, there's no hard drugs, but there's weed and cocaine if you want that. And so no
Cocaine
hard
is a
drugs,
light drug.
but weed and
According to Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. So we go over to his house and I'm like, dude, I got to like walk through his house. I got to see like what kind of spread he's got going on. So I walk into his kitchen expecting it's Dennis Rodman. Like I'm expecting some nice spread for a
Yeah.
party. He's got like 3 bags of like Lay's potato chips open, just sitting on the counter. He's got a big pot of boiling water on the stove with like 2 bloated hot dogs just rolling around in the boiled water.
Yeah.
That was it. That was all the food he had. So
That
then he
is
had
incredible.
Yeah, so then he had like a ton of like obviously like liquor was just flowing, all that stuff. So we go outside, we're all standing around. So long story short, he tries to get us to do shots. Because of the rules that we had of the insiders, nobody was drinking. So we're like, no, we're good. He's like, no, you're going to do shots. And we're like, no, we're not. It's all good. Don't worry about it. You can have mine. Like all the nice things that you say to say no to drugs and alcohol.
Yes.
He wasn't taking it. So he goes up to Bram and he starts poking Bram in the chest. And he's like, you're going to drink this. So,
Dude, you drink it. Come on.
no, listen, at this point, it's
Wow.
principle. So I step between him and Bram and I go, look, we're not drinking this. You invited us over. You've said multiple times throughout the night that this is all about love. It's all about unity. We don't want to drink. If you don't want that, we can go home. Like we can go back and go to bed. No hard feelings, man.
And you're bigger than him.
Yeah, he's probably
You're
like,
taller than Dennis Rodman.
I wish.
You
He's-
weren't?
No. Dennis, I'm 6'5". Dennis Rodman's probably like 6'9".
Okay, I didn't know he was that tall.
Yeah, 6'8", I think, something in there.
You were bigger, though. Like, you're a big dude.
I'm a big dude, but like he's cut. He's Dennis Rodman. He's cut.
All right.
So I'm like, this is it, dude. So he's getting angry. I'm like, I'm gonna have to fight Dennis Rodman. I'm gonna have to fight him. And so he's like,
this is like typical, like Protestant evangelical
yeah,
culture.
yeah,
Like, it's okay to fight somebody, but not okay to take a shot.
right.
Like,
So
friendship, screw that.
right.
Screw that.
Oh, that's so funny. I've never thought of it that way. I never thought
But-
of it that way.
Let's go to let's go to blows over this.
Yes. So he's like in my face. He's like, oh, you guys are a Christian band. You think you're better than me. And he pulls my goatee. He's like, he goes, you think Jesus had a goatee? And I go, well, he had a full beard. And he didn't like that answer. So then he was like, I don't know why he said this, but he goes, you think Jesus had a goatee? I go, well, he had a full beard. He goes, oh, you think Jesus surfed? And I go, again, my wit that was going to get my ass beat that night. I go, well, he walked on water, which I think is cooler. And so he's now infuriated, at which point he goes, do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I'm stupid? And he's right in my face. We're like nose to nose. He goes, do you think I'm stupid? And I said, no, I don't think you're stupid. I read your book. because he had come out with a book like a year or two earlier.
Yeah.
And I said,
you
no,
had
I
read
read
it.
your, yeah. And I was like, no, I don't think you're stupid. I read your book. And somebody at the party, I don't know who it was, somebody at the party goes, there's one person that did. And so Dennis Rodman like looks at whoever like said that, and like it made him giggle, like it kind of made him laugh.
Yeah.
And then like Dennis, like you could cut the tension with the knife. And then Rodman was like, come here, man. He gives me this big hug. And like the hug went for like 5 seconds. And then like I kind of relaxed like to let go of the hug, but he kept hugging me.
Dude.
So I just kept hugging him, and we did like a 40-second embrace. And then he's like, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, man. It's all about the love here. It's all about the love. And I'm like, all right, cool, man. And he's like, all right, we're doing shots. Get the shot in. And like the whole thing started again. And I was like, that's it.
It started again?
It started again. He's like, we're doing shots. And we're like,
must have
okay.
been-
All right, well, we're going to leave. Thanks for inviting us. And then we left. So here's the deal with that shirt. That's the big buildup. So a few months go by, and we're back in California again, and we're recording a couple of songs for, I want to say, Scalleluia 2.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in the studio recording, and my mom calls me again. She's here in Detroit. We're in California. She calls me. She's like, Joe, there's going to be like a 2020 episode that I just watched. It's Dennis Rodman like getting interviewed by Diane Sawyer. She's like, you got to watch it. So because of the time difference, a couple hours go by, and it's now on in California. So we watch it. I'm like, hey guys, my mom says we got to watch it. So we
She
turn it
told
on.
you to watch it because she knew the story?
She had watched the Dennis Rodman interview, and something caught her eye.
So
So we turn it on and we're watching
See where
it.
this is going.
Yeah, so Diane Sawyer's interviewing Rodman. He's crying. He's doing all that stuff, talking about his crazy childhood and all that stuff. Well, then in between, like as they go to commercial and they come back from commercials, they show like B-roll. And the B-roll of Rodman is like him driving around Newport Beach on his like Harley, and he's wearing our shirt. So he's driving around wearing this orange shirt that says like Insiders. And the next day, like after that aired, my mom used to do our merch out of our house when we were on tour. We could not keep that shirt in. We ended up calling it the Rodman shirt. We got more sales on that shirt. Like when they talk about sponsors and stuff, and you're like, oh, who really buys these products just because this guy or just because that guy like promotes it? I think I bought my first house on the sale of just the Dennis Rodman shirts.
Dude.
We sold so many of those shirts. So this whole story coming around is because we were talking logos. We never had like a logo that stuck with us throughout our entire career. But the biggest logo that we had was like that Rodman one. Like everyone kind of remembers that.
For sure.
That shirt was that logo was huge, and Rodman kind of put it out there for us.
Amazing.
So
all right, so
yeah,
we should probably call it an end to tonight, but we will continue on the second half for the Patreon.
So tell these guys what you're talking about if they don't know.
So one, Joe and I don't know what we're doing. Joe does. He has a podcast. I've been on podcasts, and when I listen to them, I'm always embarrassed because I am not very articulate and I say like and a lot.
Oh, dude, that's all I say is like.
You sound good though, and you're funny.
If people who listen played a drinking game and drank every time I said like, hammered within 3 minutes.
Hammered.
But continue.
It's hammer time. Yeah, so we're trying to figure this out, and we're just basing this off of some advice people have given us and what we think podcasting is, which is people talking on microphones. We upgraded our microphones this week. I don't know if you can tell, but I went to Target. I found a microphone for $30. Joe went all in, and
all in.
Somehow we have to pay for this. I don't want you to do this out of guilt. Like
it's like an altar call, like an offering for like missionaries.
Right. Every head bowed, all eyes closed. Every eyes closed. How does that go?
Every head bow, eyes closed.
Eyes closed. No, we just we want there to be some way for Joe and I to maybe do this for a living, or at least to pay for our microphones. I don't have a job right now, so this seems very enticing to me. So we put this out. We have a Patreon. It's Pickle and Boot Shop. If you go on Patreon, you can just search it out. Someday we'll have a website, and that'll be on there. We have a Twitter, PB, capital PB shop. It's at PB shop, and you can tweet us on that.
Is it shop SHOP?
SHOP, because if you add an extra PE, you get taxed on that. So I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I just made that up. I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know. So
I believe you because you're
Yeah.
a believable guy.
Thank you, Joe. But if you like this and you want to support us, then do our Patreon. If you like it and you want to listen to it, it's free. Subscribe, like it. That's fine. Do the little thing where you give us stars and a review. That's great. We really appreciate that. This is our third podcast. We're going to try and get better. And if you believe in what we're doing, you want to support it, you can do a Patreon. And then we're trying to just, because Joe and I like talking, we'll put the second half as free for our Patreons. Today is Tuesday, March 30th, and this podcast launches on Thursday. We decided because it was April 1st, it was a good day, and now we're locked into doing podcasts that release every Thursday. So how cool is that? So we have
So you guys, if
podcasts
you're
that comes
listening
out
now,
every Thursday.
Yeah.
If you subscribe to it, it'll come out every Thursday. If you are one of our 5 Patreons that exist in the world right now, you got it today at 10:28 a.m. You got our first
Boom.
episode.
And you
then,
try and figure out the significance of 1028.
I don't know. It's just what Patreon put up. I mean, that'll be
You-
on the
you have to
Patreon. We'll
figure
talk
out-
about it.
You have to figure out what 3/30/2021 1028 represents.
Yes.
The listener. And if they can figure it out, sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit, people. Free Patreon.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a bunch of different levels. You can get stuff from us, and it's a bunch of goofy stuff. If you feel like supporting us, then do that. If not, it is free, and we just like talking to each other and talking about old stories of our bands, and hopefully we'll interview people, and we'll have future stories, and we'll be funny, and I'll have more mustaches,
Yeah.
all kinds of good things.
And just to clarify, you guys, we're going to give you on iTunes or Spotify or Buzzsprout, there's going to be a free hour of content every week, a free hour of content. And
Yeah.
then for those of you that sponsor through Patreon, you're going to get an additional 30 minutes to an hour of additional stuff. Even today we talk about, we still have Edna to talk about. We have, what's
My
the other
nose
thing?
scab.
Your nose scab.
yeah.
So that's probably going to be the whole next hour is talking about the nose scab and Edna. So we're going to bring this to an end right now. But if you're a Patreon subscriber, you've already gotten this a day early than everybody else. It was sent to you in your email, and you're just going to keep listening. And so you're going to get a whole another half hour to hour of more stories and us talking about stuff. So you guys, free listeners, thank you so much. Continue to support us. And here's a big thing that I do want to say, you guys. You know how all this stuff works. It works with algorithms and it works with all that. If you're not going to be a Patreon, and that is totally okay. If you just want the hour free,
Totally fine.
please give us a thumbs up. Please review us, because iTunes and Spotify, things like that, it doesn't matter. Like, you could say we suck, but as long as you're putting words on and you're taking that time to do so, it works with the algorithm. And so if you can at least leave a review, you know what, if $5 a month is too much, or even $1 a year is too much, you can't afford it. Believe me, I understand these are tough times, COVID, out of work, all that stuff. I get it. But please take the time to at least just do a review, give us a thumbs up, or give us a thumbs down and give a review. That helps us out a lot. So you free listeners, thank you very much. But from this point forward, I don't think you're going to hear anything, because this is going to be all Patreon.
Boot time! Pickle and boot time! Don't be fickle, get your pickle cider, pop a nickel in your boots. Not a place of ill repute. Bring your grandma and your kids. Come for the pickles, stay for the squids. Stay for the squids. Put that pickle in your pants. Put some boots inside your hands. Put that pickle in your pants. Get your boots inside your hands.
For more shows like this one, visit rockcandyrecordings.com.